You'd never expect the most addictive thing in your neighborhood is sitting quietly on a gas station shelf. Marketed as herbal relief.
This is really a sinister industry.
The nation's Health and Human Services Secretary sounding the alarm on a compound known as 7-OH.
This legal compound, 7-OH, is stronger than morphine.
Scientifically, by definition, it is an opioid. And yet it is sold in vape stores, in smoke shops, in convenience stores, and gas stations.
And worst of all, most people have no idea what it is. No idea that a single tablet can lead to a full-blown addiction. It's a powerful synthetic compound with no regulation and no oversight.
Look at all that 7-hydroxymetrogene. Bro, this shit is the most addicting thing I've seen come into this smoke shop.
By the time you realize how bad it is, it's already got a hold on you. 7-OH. It's not what you think, and it's everywhere.
I was someone that got tricked into thinking it was just another Kratom product.
I'll just take one every now and then to boost my energy and get through the day as a mom. That ruined my fucking life.
Welcome to Time to Head North podcast. I'm your host, Vincent Vargas. This is brought to you by the North Group. What I wanted to do today was have a friend of mine on to talk about a new, I wouldn't say new, but in the past 18 months has kind of grown in the scene. It is a synthetic drug that is sold at a gas station or potentially at a smoke shop. And so what I wanted to do is bring it to your attention. I'd almost call this a bolo. Be on the lookout. You parents out there who have older children, 16 years old, 17 years old, 18 years old, that might pass as someone who's 18 to 21, they potentially could get their hands on this. If you look on TikTok, there's a crazy trend of people trying to get off of this substance because they were given free samples. And so I wanted to bring an expert on the topic. His name is John Ramsey, who is the R&D director, I believe it is. I'm sorry if I'm messing up your term.
Just a senior R&D manager here.
Senior R&D manager for a major Kratom company called Diversified Botanics, and who owns several of the bigger brands in the market. And that, John, dude, thank you for joining us today. First of all, if you want to give your background real quick, and then I can get into some of the questions I have about this substance.
Totally. I've always come from a place of caring for people. When I was in the Army, I was a medic. And so I'm always looking to help people's quality of life. And that's translated into my life after the military. And over the past couple of years, I've been doing a lot of research into Kratom. We've been doing a lot of research into how to make the best products possible in the Kratom space. And during that time, we saw, like in the last 18 months, we saw a market go from $0 per year to upwards of $9 billion a year in that period of time. And it's staggering. Like you said, some of those subreddits, like quitting 7-O, quitting 7-hydroxy on Reddit, it's alarming. You're reading about people who just can't kick it, who feel like it's harder to kick that than the fentanyl they used to be on. And so I'm really happy to be on the show. I'm really appreciative you brought me on.
Absolutely, John. If you don't mind, for the audience who probably doesn't understand exactly what 7-OH, which is 7-hydroxymetragene, can you explain, one, where it comes from and why there's such a confusion on the subject?
So 7-hydroxy is native in kratom leaf, but in very scant amounts, right? Like 0.001%, a fraction of a percentage. And essentially, that is coming from a tree leaf in Indonesia. You can consume it to get a little bit of energy, consume it to help you maybe ease some aches and pains. And what ended up happening was there was this race to become the strongest product out, right? So it started with just kratom leaf, and then it went to extracts. And then with extracts, you can make even more potent products with even more metragene in them, which is the most abundant alkaloid in kratom. And that's the one that gives you the energy and makes you feel good. But essentially, in that race, chemists got involved and figured out a way to take the standard molecule metragene and to semi-synthetically turn it into 7-hydroxymetragene. So they added a hydrogen molecule to the molecule, which makes its ability to consume easier. It makes it much stronger than Kratom and Kratom extracts, to the point where it's 13 to, in some cases I've read, up to 40 times stronger than morphine. And so that's where it becomes so alarming.
And so what exactly is this? Is it a
It's an
pill? Is
opiate.
it like, sorry, go ahead.
They're selling it in tablets. They're selling it in drinks and gummies. A good friend of mine recently shared with me that they're putting it in hemp products now. Essentially, it's just an adulterated version of Kratom that they've made to be addictive, to be an opiate, to actually have an effect on respirations and heart rate. And the addiction is strong, man. Like, some say they get addicted after their first dose. It is not natural. There's not enough Kratom trees grown in the world to support that market. And it is just ramping up faster and faster. We've seen notifications that, this is coming from cartels, like Iranian cartels and China specifically. And that's really feeding the market. These other countries that don't allow this product to be sold in their streets are exporting into the US, and it's definitely penetrated the marketplace.
Man, I have seen on TikTok a lot of this quitting 7-0. How is it grown in 18 months to be a $9 billion industry? And as well as, like, how can some of the parents that are listening to the show be sure that their kids stay away from this or not even partake in that?
It's about education, right? With my kids specifically, I like to tell them about these things, let them know that these are potential dangers, let them know what the disadvantages are in consuming this product. But it is easy for them to get their whole hands on it, It's colorful and bright. It has fruity flavors. It's sold under the guise of just stronger Kratom. And so what has happened is they penetrated the smoke shops first, right? And they would contact the smoke shops, let everybody know they've got this new Kratom, this stronger Kratom. And in smoke shops, Kratom's a pretty big commodity. And so naturally, they give them to the smoke shops. They give the smoke shops lots of free samples so that the smoke shops can give out free samples. And then they get a customer that's hooked. And so what I would say is educate your children, let them know about this. Some telltale signs, right? There are telltale signs that somebody is consuming opiates, like pinpointed pupils, slower slurred speech. Be on the lookout. Just be hypervigilant. I feel like with my kids, I have to be hypervigilant all the time because I feel like society has become a dangerous place for our children in today's, world. I mean, it's way different than it was back in the 60s and the 50s. And back then, I think they were just worried about marijuana and alcohol. Now we have to worry about all these new synthetics. And it's not just 7-hydroxy, by the way. There's other compounds that they've made now that are even stronger than that, like pseudo and doxyl metragenine. And so it's kind of like a game of whack-a-mole. Once we bring up, hey, this is bad, then they divert to the next chemical derivative or metabolite they can make to be stronger, to have a binding affinity to the opioid receptors and to cause addiction. Because addiction means that they've got a continuous customer. So they're playing right into the addiction space.
It's crazy that this has gone on for almost 2 years and it's almost untold and untalked about. It's like everyone I ask about this, as I've started further learning about it and kind of doing the investigative journalism approach, because I'm very interested in this subject. Almost everyone I have spoken to who is not in the smoking space, right, who doesn't maybe smoke marijuana medicinally or whatnot, has no idea what 7-OH is. Most of them don't even know what Kratom is. Is this Kratom? Is this like,
No.
should people fear Kratom?
People shouldn't fear Kratom. There's the FDA themselves, right, conducted their own study, the single ascending dose study, where they would have somebody eat upwards of 12 grams of pure Kratom leaf, right, dried Kratom leaf. In that scenario, no impact on the liver, no impact on the body in a negative way, no addiction, and still within therapeutic levels. So I'd say Kratom isn't the devil here. Kratom extracts aren't the devil here, because those are just a stronger version of the exact blueprint of the plant, right? We're just taking away the leaf material, the tars, and the different things you don't want to consume. This is something that is completely different, and it shouldn't be regulated the same as Kratom. It shouldn't be grouped in with Kratom. This, in its true definition, is an opiate. And that's exactly what, HHS and Robert at RFK are talking about. That's exactly what these press releases are. Yesterday, there was a press release in Florida where they banned 7-0. statewide yesterday in an emergency scheduling, and they've scheduled it Schedule 1 over there. And I anticipate that there's probably going to be some more government action that's going to, step in now that they're being made aware. Because up until this point, any of these like mishaps that are happening have just been, oh, that must be Kratom. Oh, Kratom did this. It's just Kratom. But the reality is it's not. And when you do more research on it, you really talk to these people, the products that they were taking that hurt them are 7-hydroxy products marketed as Kratom.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, I've seen some of the news stuff. I'll make sure I clip in some of the articles from the RFK as well. I saw the Florida banning it. I'm curious to see what other states will come on board with it. And it's funny, on my other podcast, the Borderland podcast, I spoke with a gentleman who talked about some of the nefarious characters who are starting illegal grows. And it seems like the hemp space is also dealing with a very similar situation with people who are synthesizing a version and making it very strong, no different than what's happening here with Kratom. It's an interesting conversation. For those who are listening, I really wanted to bring this to the table because I want you to know education is the most important thing. Know what's out there. We're not saying to take it, not take it, anything else other than here's a product out there that has been proven to be addictive. Kids have been given free samples. When I say kids, just young teenagers in the sense of like 17, 18, those who go into smoke shops to buy vape pens have been given free samples that have it into it and then become addicted. You can find this on Reddit forums. You can find this also on a lot of TikTok. So you as a parent are paying attention. If you know your kid is a vapor, be very cognizant about what kind of vape oils they are using. I recommend telling them not to vape anyways, but it's something that I think you guys should know. If it's out there and it's dangerous, I want to let you know. John, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it, man. Any last words for the audience?
No, I mean, you know what? Just educate yourself. Google it, Chat GPT it, check it out with AI. The truth is out there, and that's the reality. The truth is out there, so you can look up the studies, you can look up the impacts, you can look on Reddit, talk to actual people who are either A, hooked, or B, just trying to stay away from it. But yeah, take the time to educate yourself on this because it truly could hurt the ones you love. And if it hurts the ones you love, it hurts you in the end. And so, be hyper vigilant. And I'd say consider us a resource. If there's any questions or doubts, reach out to you. I'm sure we can get the information over to you, or you can get the information yourself. You're very educated on the topic. But I want them to know that we're a resource. At the end of the day, there are good players in the market that are just trying to educate people and help them understand not only what 7.0 is, but how Kratom works and how Kratom could help them depending on their situation. Kratom's not for everybody. Just like, alcohol's not for everybody and medical cannabis is not for everybody. Everybody's different. We all have different biologies and we all have different, things that we've gone through in life. And so I'd say there's not a cure-all out there. That doesn't exist. But through research and identifying what your body likes and needs, you'll find what you like and need.
Awesome, man. If there's any links that you guys have for your business that you want me to share that helps get people more educated, please let me know and we'll add that to the back of this.
I'll shoot them over to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And this is another episode. I know it's quick and dirty, but I just want to make sure it's out. The information is out there for you guys. But thank you so much for another episode of Time to Head North podcast brought to you by The North Group. Take care and be safe.